Hi, we're back, and today we're going to make a fun dish that you can take to, say, a potluck or with Super Bowl coming up, Super Bowl party. This is nachos. It's not exactly super healthy, but it's super hearty and super easy and fun. What you're going to need is a pound each of ground beef and pork sausage. This is just regular breakfast sausage. I usually buy a pack of each because then you know you have exactly the same. A medium to large onion, a large jar of salsa. I think this is a medium salsa. Cheese. Of course you're going to have cheese with nachos. I use these are the cheeses that I've used today. This is the Velveeta Mexican cheese. Now sometimes that's not available, but what it is a half of loaf of this 32 ounce, so 12 ounces of this. And then I used part of regular low-fat Velveeta here, and this just regular stuff from the Aldi's or whatever it's called, Clancy's cheese melt. These types of cheeses really do work better because they melt easy, and you can try to use gourmet cheeses, but probably not going to work. Some of the times you can't find this Velveeta Mexican cheese, so what you would do then, so 12 ounces, so we've got or 16, we've got about 32 ounces total here of cheese, like probably one whole loaf total. Half a loaf of Mexican, half a loaf of regular, but I actually mixed the two together. But about that's your approximate mixture. And I've cut them up and cubed them. If you can't find the Velveeta Mexican, what you can do is I would use three, so this is half and half right now, but I would use 3/4 of the melty cheese, whether Velveeta, Clancy's, or whatever you have. Some of these cheaper generic ones really melt well and have a mild flavor. And then I would just use 3/4, so 32 plus 16, what is that, 48 ounces of the meltable Velveeta or Clancy's, whatever you have. And then if you can't have the Mexican, I would just use 1/4, like a big brick of Monterey Jack cheese. Because these have like little peppers in them, kind of like Monterey Jack. I don't like to use half and half on the Monterey Jack because the Monterey Jack has a different kind of texture, almost closer to a mozzarella. And we want this nice melty texture. And then if that was the case, and I was going to do that, I would use 1/4 Monterey Jack, 3/4 Velveeta or generic, and then for my salsa, I'd go with the hot, spicy or hotter salsa to compensate for the lack of extra cheese. Well, today we're just going to do half and half. And let's move this out of the way. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to put all this cheese right in my crock pot. So there's the Velveeta Mexican. This is the mixture of the Velveeta regular and the Clancy's. And then I'm going to add the large salsa. This is, how many ounces? Where does it say? 24-ounce jar of salsa. I've used a medium in this case. Okay, so I'm going to dump that in there as well. So I'm going to go over and get this plugged in and get it to start warming. I'm going to put it on a low heat so I get that cheese start melting. And then we're going to move over to the stove and we're going to cook the meat and the onion that's going to be added into it as well. So we're back in a minute to move to the stove. Okay, and we're back. We're going to start to do the frying the meats, and we're going to also fry up the onion. I've ground it up into a nice fine grind. I'm going to take a knife. I'm going to slit these packets open. Okay, let's do the same on this one. I always do the sausage first because I like sausage better than I like beef, and I like to get the sausage flavor then all over the onion and all over the beef stuff too. Okay, so then you're going to have to get it out of this packet. I hate touching this meat. This is not my favorite part of putting this together. Okay, let's get it in there. There is some more stuff inside. I'm going to try to get it out. There we go. Yuck. So I'm going to get it all out and into the pan. And I don't have a towel handy. I'll just use this paper towel. Okay, so I'm going to get this, turn this heat on high and start to make my, some on the stove, gross. Okay, I'm going to move this aside, and I'm going to just start breaking up the sausage. Break it up into very small pieces, like this size, little crumbly pieces. So I'm just going to work at it. This is going to take a little while So I'm going to just break it down, and then when I come, I'm going to go ahead and take a little break, and when we come back, I'm going to show you the sausage ready to go, and then we're going to put the meat in, the ground beef, and then we're going to add last the onions, and that's all going to go into the crock pot, just right on top of the cheese. What's in there now is just the cheese and salsa. Now I'm cooking the sausage. I'll be back in a minute to show you the finished sausage. Okay, we're back, and the sausage is cooked. I'm going to just go ahead and bring it right in front of the camera here. I'm just trying to get a little bit of that grease off. And I've got my crock pot here. I'm going to move these onions out of the way. I'm going to open my crock pot lid. And that cheese in there is starting to melt, and this sausage is, you know, freshly cooked, so that's going to be also help to melt that cheese. I'm going to just try to, you know, get some of the grease off of it. It's all going in there eventually anyway, but the reason I'm trying to reserve a little grease this time is because I want to, I'm going to fry my onions in the sausage grease also. So I'm going to use this pan for all three items. So now you see how this sausage too, I got it nice and little crumbled pieces, browned. Okay, I'm going to return the lid to the crock pot, just like it is right now. I'm just going to keep piling stuff in there. And then I was going to do this right on camera if I can. I'm going to take my, this is my little chopper thing. And I'm going to go ahead, it's like a mini food processor. It comes in so handy though, I use it all the time. And I'm going to get my onions in there. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my onions in here. I'm going to go ahead and return this to the stove and fry it up, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, and I'm back, and the onions are ready. I've just sauteed the onions in the sausage grease. So I'm going to go right in the crock pot they go. So there's a little bit of work involved in this, you know, prep for this. But it's really not that hard. And then it's just a matter of letting it all cook down into the crock pot. I'm going to go ahead now, the last step, I'm going to go back over the stove. I didn't bring it over here, but the last step is I'm going to use that 1 pound of ground beef, that roll. I'm going to fry this just like I did the sausage, nice and small and crumbly. Bring it back and put it in the crock pot. And that'll be the final ingredient, and I'll be back to show you that. Okay, and now we're on to the last step. What I've done is I've taken the ground beef, and I've crumbled it up and browned it just like I did the sausage. And it's going to go, again, it's going to go right into the crock pot with the other ingredients, which is starting to melt. Now on this beef, it gives off a lot of fat and juice. I don't want that in there. So I'm going to kind of try to drain it a little as I go, and my dogs will surely enjoy it very much, the beef juice on there, poured over their dog food. So I'm going to go ahead and that'll get the rest of that. This is a great dish, you know, with Super Bowl coming up, Super Bowl parties, any kind of potluck where you've got to bring you're going to have to bring a dish. It always is a hit. It's a hit at any party. Again, not very healthy, but very tasty. And then you can serve it, if you were going to take the crock pot to like a party, you might want to serve it with, bring some either like tortilla chips or corn chips. Goes good with it too. See, I saved a lot of that juice. I'm not putting in there. The dogs are going to get it. Tortilla chips, corn chips. I like the whole wheat Tostito scoops. What I'm going to do now is now I'm going to really get that all in there. I'm going to mix it in. If you can see, look at that. It's very rich, obviously. So I'm going to give this a good mix around here, and I'm going to get it's starting to melt. It's going to take a little while. It actually takes, you know, some hours, because like here, you don't want any of these. There's still some chunky cheese. When you're done, it's going to just be one big, nice consistency, creamy, with some meat in it. The meat's not going to be so pronounced. It's just pronounced right now because it's on the top of the. It's on the top of the. This is a little hot. There we go. I don't have a pot holder. Okay. So I'm going to get it all nice and mixed up. So this is, you know, again, a good party dish, but it's also how what I'm doing with the batch I'm making today. I'm not taking it to a party or anything. It freezes awesome. It freezes up excellent. I'm going to show you in a second how I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it this minute because it's not ready yet. See, there's still a lot of, you can see squares in there still from that cheese. That means it's not really mixed. It's not melted together completely. when it's done, the cheese is going to be really, really melty. The whole thing is going to be like a melty consistency. Okay, so I'm going to, now I got it pretty mixed up, I'm going to close the lid on the crock pot here. And so it's going to go ahead and keep cooking. And then what I do with this is I'm going to freeze them in single serving containers. These are these little cups, and they have lids on them. You can buy them at like a restaurant supply cup. I have 250 of them I bought. You know, they last a really long time. 5.5 ounces, like this. This is like a single serving. So what I do after this is completely melted down, I go ahead and I fill these to the top, and then I have the matching lid, and I freeze them. And they come back perfectly. So these are like a nice single serving. So if you just want to have it for, I usually like have it for a lunch with some, you know, whole wheat Tostito scoops or something. The one thing is you can't microwave these. But what I do is you just turn it upside down, put it in a bowl, glass or ceramic, never plastic in the microwave, and then it melts down perfectly, and give it a little stir. These also will actually melt in the microwave, so do not do that. Do not put these, if you go with these kind of cups, do not put them in the microwave. If you wanted to do like smaller groups, you could get little Tupperware type containers and fill those up and freeze them. It comes back perfect frozen. It's a perfect, comes right back. Nice snack, or like I said, I'll have that for lunch sometimes. It'll be like a nice lunch, some nachos with some whole grain chips or something. All right, so I'm going to stop for a second, and no, not a second. I'm going to actually stop for probably a good hour or two, and I'm going to come back and we're going to show you what the finished product, what it's going to look like in the end, and we'll be back in a little bit. Okay, and now the dip is ready. I'm going to go ahead and just show you before I put it in my little containers. So this is what it looks like when it's completely mixed up. Really good. Again, this is great for any kind of party like a Super Bowl, or if you're going to get together and watch any kind of sports, basketball, NASCAR, whatever it might be, poker games. This is all good, because this is a good thing to have with beer. This goes really good with beer. So then just go ahead and bring it in the crock pot, serve it up with some nachos, nacho chips or tortilla chips, corn chips. Again, I'm going to put them in here, cap them and freeze them. They come back great in the microwave. You can use larger portions in some sort of Tupperware. So here you have it. The awesome, quick and easy nachos. Enjoy.